Greetings, beings, and happy birthday to all Sagittarians and early Capricorns. Welcome to your mid-monthly December reading for the Tarot by Tribe series. I'm Reverend Jakob Martinez, the Crystal Haiku Guy, and I run this channel. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure that you are considered a legal adult wherever you are, because this channel is M for mature audiences only. I stress that because I communicate with your spirit guides, and sometimes the messages can be pretty intense, and I tend to use strong language. So keep that in mind, because based on your preferences, I may or may not suit your fancy, and it's okay either way. God bless you. So I do this Tarot by Tribe series twice a month. Each of these videos is going to be broken down in a specific fashion. I recommend that you look at your sun, your moon, and your rising or ascendant signs. If you don't know what that is, just look for a free birth chart online so you'll know how to navigate here. It will be helpful to you. Some people also like to look at other planets, Mars, Mercury, whatever, Venus. Please have a look wherever you like. I just keep them organized so they're easy to bounce between. The beginning of each of these videos is basically going to be the intro, and then I'm going to have the front section where I will shuffle 5 different decks that I'm going to use, and that's usually where the channel messages will show up. I recommend taking a look at them just purely based off the feedback that I've been getting since I started this channel in May this year. I've been getting some rockin' feedback about the channeled messages at the front end. So if you're actually looking for spirit messages, sometimes I just get grabbed by y'all's guides. They tell me what's up, and instead of being a shyster about it, I put it there for you. So take a look at it if you want. If you just want to jump to the cards, guess what? Click under the description box, that show more button. You're going to see 3 chapters, 1 for each of the tribes that are associated with that element. Okay, so how I'm going to break them down for you. Challenge style energy, I'm going to use Carolyn Mace's archetype cards because they give us a light and shadow attribute to help us understand what's ahead. We take a look at the physical material realm using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, and then I use the John Holland Psychic Tarot Oracle deck for the mental sector. And for the personal, sometimes romance sector, we use the Doreen Virtues Romance Angels Oracle deck, and I like to seal them all up with a little practical advice and a prayer from Archangel Michael using Doreen Virtues Archangel Michael deck. And that's pretty much what I got there. Now, if you are looking for a personal or private look into your own life picture, I'd love to do those. I've decided to extend my special on the future forward readings. I got great feedback on those from people. They usually are about 2 hours in length because it's so specific. I literally break apart the next year of your life. And I also help you see how things are usually going based on your emotional reactions to life. So it's like kind of explaining your karmic choices before you, so that this new year ahead, you're actually stepping more into your dharma, because that's what this polarizing year of 2016 has been about for most of us, is that wake-up call of, now I want to do it different, and I want to make sure that I'm not like tripping over my freaking shoelaces over and over again. And that's pretty much what I'm hearing from most of my people. So I'm running a very deep discount on that reading, and also on my very personalized, detailed readings. So my personal readings, I don't even like to call them a general reading because there's so much information that goes into them, and they're very detailed because of how your guides communicate with me. Most of the times I don't even need cards for them. I just kind of use them as a visual aid to show you confirmation of everything that was channeled. So if you're interested in that, those are usually between about 45 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on your guides and how they communicate with me. But I'm running kick-ass special on that too. So these aren't listed with the specials on my website. You feel free to check it out. Either way, it's artoflove.me. But if you just want information about doing a personal with me, the specials are good for all orders placed between now, as I'm recording this, is the 12th of December, through the 20th. And if you just send an email to prayer@fatheroftribes.com, I'll hit you back. All that information's below, and I'm not going to digress anymore. I'll see you on the inside of your reading. Greetings, water tribes. How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. Just clearing space here. We just have the supermoon in Gemini, and this shadow to Mercury retrograde is like already spinning pretty hard for a lot of us. I'm recording this on the 14th. This is good for the second half of December. So I just got hit by like a ton of messages for you all, and you don't have to watch the beginning of these. If you don't like channeled messages, just click under the video and jump on your link. But we're going to be going Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, and just while I was clearing my energy here and the energy here in my board for my personal energy work, how I do these, y'all's guides were just slamming the hell out of me, and sometimes that happens around these supermoons and full moons, and I'm just told that I'm not to rush through my recordings. I don't do anything by being imposed on or rushed by others, and so I've taken my time with this to make sure I could digest the energies properly, and I'm glad I did, because I've already got like tons of notes here, and I don't even know how much of it I want to get into, because some of them are, y'all's personal readings. So if you need a personal, reach out to me. I'm running some specials through the 20th. prayer@fatheroftribes.com. But I will sum up some things. I basically kind of broke apart what I was hearing for Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, and I got like an overall context of this being some major like time for healing, like wounded child issues is what's coming up. And I'm just going to show you. I keep looking over here because I don't always have a card for you beforehand, but this has been everywhere. Heart chakra. So this was flying out, and oh, it's weird. I didn't look under it before, but got partnerships and alliances, and I'm going to stop looking or I'll just keep going. Accelerated motion. I'm hearing in some cases there's just been some like interference that was happening between parties, and I'm hearing triangulations. I'm hearing some of this is like exes trying to come back, and just people being triggered about, even if that's not the case, wanting to take new directions within like their heart space, and it bringing up all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to just pause there because I'm not going to get into all the personal stories that I saw. There were too many, and quite frankly, that would be very stressful for me right now. I want to get to your reading. And so I'm going to tell you what I summed up and what the overall impressions were with this, because I feel like there's just a lot of guidance right now for some healing. And I'm hearing that some of y'all really need to take a step back from whatever it is that has been going on, because they're saying unnecessary drama for some people. And I will tell you where I'm getting that. I kept hearing these pleas, and it was funny. It was like, please, please, but it was like somebody like on their knees, like pleading a case, and they were showing me the judge, which is like the judgment card, in many decks, but I was seeing the version from the archetypes, Carolyn Mace's archetypes, probably just because I'm so fond of using the archetypes, but they were showing me the judge, and I was seeing somebody flipping back and forth like a fish, and they're like, this one's for Pisces, and it was like them flipping between martyr and Don Juan, but it was like all shadow stuff, shadow, shadow, shadow. And I was hearing, that might not be you, Pisces, that might be what you're dealing with, but I'm hearing shadow character Don Juan, flip-flopping, and martyr. And so then they showed me some other stuff. I was literally seeing the Queen of Swords like upside down, and while I saw that, I was actually shuffling my deck, and the Knight of Swords flew out, and it was like the Knight of Swords, they were just showing me somebody being in a real rush to confront a situation in either an angry fashion or a way that has been not so couth with another character. And so that's how I'm seeing that Queen of Swords. In some cases, you might have a very pissed off air sign person that you're dealing with. Or in other cases, it's just showing that, somebody's like rushing in to like want to address something that might have been done on that, shadow character flip-flop stuff that I was telling you about. And while I was seeing that, I started hearing a song. There's an electronic duo, a French electronic duo that I like a lot called Air, and they have a song called All I Need that is sung by a woman named Beth Hirsch. And I was told for some of y'all that might be something to listen to. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but I was just hearing that good judgment needs to be used. And in some cases, that's what that judge was that I saw coming out. It's like somebody realizing that they either have had a judgment made against them for something that might have been, perceived as like flip-flopping, or in other cases, it's just like saying, you need to use better judgment with the people that you're allowing into your circle, Pisces, because I'm seeing martyr on one side and like this freaking Don Juan shadow shapeshifter on the other side, and they're just saying shady business dealings. And so in some cases, that judgment might have something to do with something that came out in a business sense. And I'm just hearing seek out qualified help, So sometimes that's all the judge is. It's like, somebody that's sitting there that has logical judgment, and it's saying literally go get some help from somebody that can assist in the situation that is on that throne or pulpit or whatever they're on for a reason. So I'm going to leave that one there. I was getting something for Scorpio, and they were telling me something about the autumn equinox, and I wasn't sure what it was all about. And then I started hearing the song Harvest Moon by Neil Young, which the harvest moon is usually the moon, I guess, in September anyway, so it's like the fall equinox moon. So I was just hearing, that line, I'm still in love with you, I want to see you dance again because I'm still in love with you, oh, this harvest moon. And so I was hearing something about just like the Scorpio, like having like some regrets about a romance that ended for one reason or another. In some cases, I'm hearing it's like, I didn't like the image. They showed me like the Ten of Swords, person from like the Rider-Waite deck where it's like they got all those swords in their back, and I was literally hearing it was about somebody's like deceased loved one, and like this time of the year just being like kind of gut-wrenching and like remembering like the loving sweet times with that person. And so I just want to let you know, that one really like hit me really hard, and I actually felt very emotional just like going through that with you. And so, just know I already prayed on that, and I'm praying for you, especially anybody that's lost a loved one like that. And for others, I was just hearing it's just literally like they were showing me those 10 stabs in the back as like just some like, I was hearing bad decisions, repeated bad decisions that were made in a certain relationship, and like the Scorpio person, whether or not they were the one that was doing that and taking the bad jobs, maybe feeling like that happened to them, but it being just like a time where, it's bringing up a lot of wounded child stuff. And so, again, with a wounded child and heart chakra healing, and I think this applies for all y'all right now. So I'm just hearing that whatever it is, it's just a good time to make sure that you realize, especially if that 10 is like an indication of where you've come from, that this is like the end of it. This is the end of the year, y'all. So just know that it's like a good time to allow yourself the space to turn the page on it. So, I'm hearing that a lot of people just got confronted, especially with the supermoon that just happened, with some insights. If it didn't happen directly, with others like coming at you in a certain way, or what you experienced watching the world and feeling, the stuff that water tribe people feel, because we are watery people. I can say we. I'm a Cancer rising, and so I have a tendency to kind of act like water. And so, I get that. And the thing about water is it's like, you know, you can pour liquid into any shape and it just fills the space. So it's like, whether or not it wants to, that's just the nature of it. It just fills that space. And so sometimes you can have a lot of psychic attack that you don't even realize why you're feeling shitty or like getting pulled in these directions. And it's literally because of how you are designed. And so it's helpful to take a lens on that so that you can at least practice proper self-care, because there's no sense in really trying to fight your nature. You know, that's not what I'm saying here. What I am saying is that you will continue to repeat these like wounded child scenarios and feeling like you're getting freaking stabbed in the back, or like, you know, shit is just too turbulent emotionally because you're literally being pulled into other spaces. And so it's more about taking responsibility for that which you know to be true. So I'm hearing that's really important for the Cancerians right now, too. I was getting a lot of 50-50 messages with this, too, and it's, I don't want to say flip-flopping as much. They were showing me more flip-flopping with the Pisces. With the Cancerian, I was hearing, I mean, the potential for the flip-flop is definitely there, too, especially under a lot of that Gemini energy that was magnified. But what I was hearing was more about, you know, they were showing me some romantic stuff for some of y'all, and it wasn't romantic for everybody. But I was seeing people just having a point within them where they're deciding whether or not they really want to trust their instincts and trust their intuition. And for a Cancer, this is like, you know, listen, this is very important because you can literally shut yourself down and off completely by your nature. Right? And they were just cautioning not to like scurry too far to the left or to the right. And I say scurry because that's how a crab moves. It literally like does this little sideways tango thing, you know, and it's not like it's trying to be weird. It's just, I mean, you know, that's how a crab moves. That's actually what it's supposed to do, right? And there's a tendency to kind of like shift, right? And just because of your nature, you can really get yourself into some kind of bizarre situations by going too far into either one of those directions and then not liking it because then you like, you know, you harden up and it's like, then you don't want to do anything, and the Cancer can just like become very obstinate and stuck. And so a stuck Cancer is not good. It's not good. So the thing that I was being reminded to tell you all is that it's your thoughts right now that are going to sort of pilot how you're doing things. And it's okay to have like some balance and maybe go back and forth and things in a way that balances you so that you're not walling off and just like shutting down. But I was hearing that it's important to go like that and to really learn about your nature too, because they were saying that a lot of you are actually on the right path, and that it has to do with trusting like your guidance and that yin flow of energy that is water, because, you know, Cancer is a water sign and you have some special talents being designed the way you are that none of the other water signs have, that you have. And I would recommend looking into like what it is to be Cancerian. Like look at the pictures too. See how those pictures strike you, because it might give you some insight into like the ways you're tempted to kind of act. And I was just hearing there's a lot of like 50-50 going on. They were saying 50-50, that some of y'all are really on the right path because it's like you've kind of started to let this inner witness like be your guide. And others, it's like you're still kind of trying to fight it. It's like you're trying to fight your own nature. And this is where they threw me into the love stuff. I was just hearing for a lot of you, this is all about red flags that have come up. And again, it was the wounded child. Wounded child, I was hearing stuff about, oh gosh, all kinds of stuff in relationships. I'm not going to get into it. If you need help about that, contact me, her@fatheroftribes.com. I probably already got your messages. And so, you know, I can help you. We've got some great specials going on right now. I'm not going to break those down. I'm just going to say that it was all wounded child. I was seeing the person being stabbed in the back again, just like with the Scorpio. And then I was just seeing someone just kind of like standing there, like, what do I do? And I just saw them like looking this way, looking this way, looking this way, looking this way. And they were telling me, you have too many people chirping in your ears, some of you, telling you shit, and that the problem is that you're listening too much to that other stuff, and that's what's got you going back and forth. It's not that you're going back and forth because you're balancing yourself, like how a Cancer does when it goes, and it kind of can scurry sideways. It's that you're going back and forth, like listening to too much shit. And these are people that are literally like cracking at your skull, maybe at your shell. But I was literally seeing like somebody like picking at the Cancer, kind of like how you would pick at a crab to eat a crab. I was just hearing some of y'all that might make sense, and that you need to pay attention to those red flags. If this is hitting a nerve for you, pay attention to that. Trust that. That is your guidance. That is your gut. That is the center of you. That is God. That is connected to God. It's your God self. And it's telling you the truth. And when you listen to that, you're going to be in harmony with your heart, and you're going to know whether or not you can trust this shit. And I'm hearing some of these people, you just need to shut them off. And for others, I was hearing that this is actually going to be a point of liberation because you have shut that other stuff off. You haven't shut yourself down like a little Cancer can shut themselves down and just like retreat and not let anybody in. But some of you have shut off the noise, and they're saying it's like you're on your path. Go forward fearlessly. Like 2 of those cards actually flew out of my Archangel Michael deck while I was shuffling and getting all this like swarm of messages for Cancer. And so then they were showing me that 50-50 thing, like this person on the fence. Is it safe, for me to get into this relationship? And, am I feeling, red flags? And they were saying if you're feeling that on both sides, the answer is probably no. And so you're going to know if that's right. If when I said no, you felt, nope, that's right. That's how I've been feeling. Darling, that's you listening to your inner guidance. If you felt me say no on that and you were kind of testing on this and you're feeling it and you're like, no, I think I can. Well, guess what? Trust that too, all right? That's you trusting your guidance. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not telling you how to make your decision. I'm telling you to check in with yourself because that's going to let you know how to make your decision. Hopefully that was clear. So they also told me a song for you guys. I was hearing a song called Stars by Simply Red. And, yeah, some of y'all might want to listen to that, but they were saying, it's really about a conversation that you need to have. In some cases with yourself, in some cases with somebody else. So that's what I got on those. They seemed pretty important for some, and I feel like the most important thing about all of them is just that underlying theme, that heart chakra card that came out. It's like a great time to heal the heart. Holidays can be rough for people, especially if they're not getting what they want. And what I was hearing, and you don't have to like me for saying it, but I'm going to say it, is that you learn a lot about who you are when you're not getting what you want. And it's like you can really see what's inside of you and what you are putting out in the world that comes right back in sometimes alarming ways when situations are not ideal for you and you see what it is that you allow yourself to be. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is just like a really good time to pay attention to how you're pulled. Because just because you feel it doesn't mean you have to do it. And I'm hearing that's where some of you all have literally been like jumping to powerful new levels within yourself, and where others are literally shutting themselves down. So, it's not to be like in judgment of yourself, and I don't say any of it with like judgment of you. It's like, it's more about learning to discern for yourself and have a level of self-judgment, not to be like negative, like you're doing this and you're doing that, and judging you like that and trying to condemn yourself. It's more like being a good judge of your own character and boundaries that may or may not exist, and realizing where those tendencies came from, because you don't have to be a slave to any of that. And just because you fill the space as water, well, you know, that is how you work. So there's no sense in trying to change like that, because you can't do that. Elementally, it doesn't work, you know? You are made the way you're made. It's learning to be responsible. And I talked to some of the other tribes about it. I don't remember who it was right now. So, you know, people always want to talk about law of attraction, and all this stuff. Honestly, yes, law of attraction, great. It works, sure. But what people don't really like talk to you about, that I think is far more important and far less sexy, because it requires you to like do shit for yourself and to take responsibility, is the law of reciprocity. Law of reciprocity. That means that there is a reciprocal give and take that occurs. Let's call that the attraction model, based on what you actually do. Because these are doing things. And sometimes it's what you're doing with your mind. Most times it is, because that is where you're allowing yourself to pilot from. And so, you know, you kind of want to look into that, especially during these retrograde seasons. You know, it's not a time to freak out about, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. No, okay, fine. Keep it in mind. Note to water tribes. Shit goes wrong, right? Plan for the storm, right? Simple. And while you're there, realize what that time is good for. It was there not to like stop you from doing these other things, but kind of to allow you the space to heal, so that the things that didn't work before, that now you're analyzing, because they're all coming back a lot of times. That's what a retrograde does. Well, that's where you just see how much you've grown. And you can kind of like make an image of yourself. Here's what I did last year. Here's where I am today when this whole other thing's coming back. Wow, I didn't realize I was self-sabotaging. Here's some wounded child stuff that was allowing me to mistreat myself or others, or be put upon in these like situations. And now's the time where I'm not going to act on that. I'm going to self-soothe. I'm going to heal. I'm going to do things that pull me into my yin space, so that when this season of this type of energy has passed, I'm ready for the new year, you know, fresh and new, because there's power in a renewed mind. And some of you need to know that, because you need to pay more attention to what you're allowing yourself to stew on, you know, in your mind. It's like some of y'all are just being yanked to like these like places where it's like, instead of seeing it constructively and being like, wow, I felt that. Holy shit, it's reminding me of XYZ, you know, fill in your blank. And, I don't like that for me. I'm not calling more of that in. Here's what I need to do in this situation to make me feel better, and I'm going to move my focus on this other thing that's in the direction that I want to go. And that's what some of you all need to do. And if you're not able to analyze it that way, guess what? That's probably why that judge showed up. You need some help. Sometimes you just need somebody else to give you a lens on it. And I'm hearing some of y'all are like far too Neptunian right now. It's like you, like maybe it was whatever was going on with Neptune recently. There was some shit going on with Neptune. And I'm not like the foremost astrologer. I know about enough to understand some of it. And I'm more of an intuitive, and I hear what they're saying when they tell me, mention something. So I know this is going to make sense for some of y'all. And I'm hearing that, you know, the biggest danger right now is just like getting so far into your feels with this and not having like another grasp, you know, or another lens that, you know, you just got carried off into one of those directions that isn't even in your center. And so, you know, I'm hearing for some people, you just need better like support in your world. Like, and it's not that you don't have good support systems. It's just that you're changing. And, you know, we all change. And sometimes you just need to realize, even if you don't want to change, that you have changed, because life has given you other situations that have changed how you even see things or experience yourself. And if you don't allow yourself to adjust the rest of your life to support where you are now, it's like you're still like clinging to the past with your energy. And so maybe it will help to think about it that way, you know? If you've actually moved in some kind of way and you're still doing what the coping skills were for back then, you know, this is the perfect opportunity to revise that. Mercury retrograde is a great time to do that. It's an awesome time for self-care. So I hope you'll do that, because I'm just hearing water tribes. That's what the big message was. And that freaking heart chakra card jumped out, and anytime one of those chakra cards comes out, I'm always pretty impressed, because I think they're telling me that something major with an entire energy center needs help. And so that's the heart space. And anything that pulls on emotions, or your expression of, first of all, self-love unconditionally, is interrupted or being poked in some kind of way, now's a good time to start working on it. So I'm almost done dealing here. Yeah, the other thing they wanted me to tell you was just like, you know, practicing the art of, forgiveness, and this just flew out, detached from the situation, and it just flew over there. I just said forgiveness, didn't I? You told me to flip the deck. Flip on the bottom. Forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. Okay, so I'm going to pray on both of these because I'm hearing we need it. And what they're telling me right now is that a lot of the bullshit that some of y'all have been perpetuating, I'm hearing self-perpetuating, is simply because of trauma. And that you need to know that and forgive yourself for what you've done. And to detach from it, though, here's where the big heavy is. You have the option to detach from that bullshit that's no longer serving you. You have the option to do that. They're saying that you get to do that. It's your choice. And that's how you can forgive yourself. And there's a cause and effect, though. It's like, you must do this to really give yourself an authentic forgiveness. You can't like say, oh, I'm going to forgive myself and then keep doing bullshit, because that means that you're still attached to it and you're never going to be able to forgive that way. So think about reciprocity. I'm going to go ahead and say the prayers first for detachment, because some of us really need to do that right now. Right, water tribes? Let's do this. Dear Archangel Michael, I ask you to use your flaming sword to cut any attachment to fear or drama and bullshit, so that I may be centered in the knowingness that peace is everywhere within me and in this situation. Now we're going to say forgiveness. Forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. Dear Archangel Michael, I ask that you help me let go of self-blame and forgive myself. Please guide me in releasing any toxic anger or fear towards others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for allowing me to feel centered and at peace. Amen. All right. Going to finish shuffling this last deck, and then we are going to go Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer is what I'm hearing. Yeah, I heard some of y'all just need to find your art or dial into that this next month, you know. They're saying it'll make you feel better. I'm hearing for some of y'all that aren't artists, you know, you might enjoy a coloring book, you know. Get yourself a freaking coloring book. Turn on some good music. Chew some gum, you know. Just lighten the mood. That helps me. You literally can't try to blow bubbles and be in a pissed off mood. So sometimes little shit like that will turn your minute around, and if you can turn just a minute around, you can turn your whole day around. So alright. Okay. What's up, Pisces? How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. Some of y'all might want to check out the channel messages if you didn't see them. A lot of messages for you guys. guys, gals, and others. I'm going to flip your cards. All right. Fantastic. Y'all definitely want to check the channel messages, some of you. They're telling me to just mention it again. I was getting some really strong messages about Pisces trying to correct and do some damage control, possibly, and a song that you might want to hear, so you might want to go back and do it. But I'm hearing some of y'all are just like going for it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of what I'd seen at the beginning of the month for y'all. You've gotten the Pioneer card, and it's a really powerful energy to be followed up with the Avenger showing up in the second half of the month. You know, Pioneer is somebody that's got like a new idea and they're going after their vision, and then here's the Avenger, like tying it together is what I'm hearing. And this card right here is kind of like your challenge for the month. So in some cases, this is telling the Pisces to be very bold. In other cases, it's saying that the Pisces has made some changes. So I'm going to read to you what this says here. Light attributes. Desire to balance the scales of justice. Righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. That's interesting too, because it's talking about justice here. You really might want to check out the channel messages if you didn't go there. They were showing me some stuff with a judgment coming on, and so that might be relevant for some of y'all. But I'm hearing that this character here may have taken off their mask, and that that's illuminating somebody's world. And so if that hasn't happened yet, I hear it might be shadow attribute state, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And that might be, I was getting a lot of shadow character flip-flopping stuff for y'all. I'm going to stop mentioning it. You probably just want to check out the messages in the beginning. But actually, before I read this is what was rushing towards that Avenger energy. And so since this is like how you may be tempted to act, or how situations may be playing out, or people around you for the second half of the month, it's kind of interesting to see these side by side. Your physical material around Pisces, we've got some kind of fiery energy that's like rushing in, and I'm seeing another knight doing something like this in the channeled stuff. So this knight here could have something to do with fire element people in your life. Whether or not you have fire in your chart, this could be you too. This could be how you're tempted to act. And I just say that because it's showing up in the physical material realm. So this could actually be how an action is taking place. But I'm seeing action here. Avenger and Knight of Wands. So kind of interesting here. I'm going to go ahead and read to you what it says here in the book before I jump into the other cards for Pisces. Avenger. We've got 3 keywords, 3 bullet points in a tip. Avenging angel, savior, messiah. First bullet point states, needs to balance the scales of justice, sometimes aggressively. The second one says, pursues war criminals or corporations that harm society. And the last one says, Shadow Avenger manifests as resorting to violence from acts of eco-terrorism to bombing abortion clinics. The tip is to look for a lifelong pattern of defending or representing causes on behalf of others. I'm hearing in some cases, this is just a call for Pisces to stand up for their own self. And that this might have been a long time coming, and I'm seeing that because what we've got showing up on the Pisces mind here, second half of the month here, is spiritual strength. I really like this card a lot. If we were referencing this 9 in this deck, like more traditional style, this would be your 9 of Wands. So there's a lot of fire here. And I'm hearing in some cases, like the Pisces might have been really provoked. And what's really cool is, like, if this is you or what you're doing, Pisces, they're showing you, like, holding it together by going within and being the demonstration of whatever spiritual strength is to you. And since this is showing up on your mind, it's like, I feel like there have been some well-considered decisions, because whatever it is, especially if you've had things rocking your boat, and let's just say this is you, and you're showing up like wanting to do stuff and being like, all lit up inside, they're showing some composure to me here, Pisces. And so I think that's really wonderful. I love this card. And in some cases, I'm hearing that this really has to do with a relationship, because we got passion showing up, Pisces, in your personal / romance sector. So I'm hearing in some cases, this is like, it's hot. I'm hearing it's hot. And I'm hearing, it couldn't come together fast enough. And so it's like somebody's taking like really bold steps. And I'm feeling literally like grabbing something and like running. And I'm seeing that in some cases, it might look really fast to others, because this shit can be fast. This is, this night, I mean, you can see that horse is like raring to go, and this person looks like they're literally on fire to me sometimes, right? And so what I'm seeing next to it is like the spiritual strength, and that doesn't look like it's moving too fast, right? I'm hearing in some cases, this is 9 months. I'm hearing gestation. I'm hearing some people might be getting pregnant. I'm hearing some people might be pregnant. I'm hearing that, in some cases, it's like trying to like bridge the gap between, mama and baby daddy, is how they're saying it to me. But in other cases, I'm really hearing that there are some like spiritual partnerships that have shown up. And that looks pretty damn good if that's what you got. It says, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. And I'm hearing in some cases, some of y'all really taking your time to know whether or not you were ready to do something. And I'm hearing for some people, it was like 9 slow freaking years. 9 slow freaking years is what somebody's got is saying to me. And in other cases, I'm just hearing it was like a 9-year cycle that just like, it's over, and that somebody has either located the passion within themselves, even if this is not romantic, it could be passion for something in life, and that, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be romantic, and that this is just the time where, oops, it goes this way, that, the Pisces is maybe just finally taking a bold stance. Oh, and I'm seeing here, oh yeah, so they said Pisces took the mask off here, if that's the case, or somebody took the mask off, and see all this yellow here? This is like the plans that were made and the healthy ego, and I'm hearing this mask had to come off. That was like somebody trying to protect their heart, and like now they're like clothed and like their healthy sense of ego, and that's like what set their world on fire, and they're like going for it. And I'm hearing in some cases it's not rushed. It's something that was well considered, and it came from a very, sort of devout space within themselves. And that even though there's like passion and fire attached with this, it's like something that was well founded. Really cool. So in some cases, this might be what it's all about. There might be a fiery character involved. If this isn't the Pisces, if this is another person, let's say this is external to you, and it's just someone in your physical material realm, Pisces, this could be somebody that's got very youthful, buoyant, fiery, passionate energy. In some cases, they might have a strong constitutional makeup of fire element, so they might have some kind of fire tribe in them, like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And, this is definitely a passionate, fiery character. And if you don't want to get pregnant and you're like in like a relationship or something going on where that could happen, just know that with the little person inside the big person, this character with the hot rod and this showing up, it could happen. So, maybe wrap it up, y'all. And I'm seeing that's what this guy's doing here somewhere. So, I don't know. You're going to know if it's for you. I'm going to open up the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book. Read to you what it says on the Spiritual Strength card here. In some cases, I'm just hearing this is you just tired of freaking taking the knocks. Because, like, if you reference this deck here before I read it, that Nine of Wands character just, like, it's been socked in the head, you know, and they're, like, hanging on to, like, this stick, looking wary, you know, just wondering where's the next one going to come from, you know, and in some cases it's the hits they've been taking. And it's also a really awesome card, too, because it shows, like, fortitude and strength of character for some people. It's just, like, what you're willing to stand for. What I like about it showing up here is that although this is 9, this is actually, like, the 10. This is the end of the suit in this deck, in this system. You kind of have to read systems a little different. You can't just say, oh, 9 of Wands, you know, because they're different. Totally different representation here. There's more energies that come in. And different messages that are associated with that. And so, you know, this particular card here, since it's in a system that ends at 9, they're saying this was like the last step. And so, again, it's like, you know, I'm hearing in some cases, you know, don't be hasty, especially, you know, it's Mercury retrograde. People can fly off the handle, especially with this kind of energy, right? But I'm hearing in some cases, it's something that's taken a while. You've made a good decision. And I'm just going to jump ahead. You're showing me eternal love. So this is the card that showed up at the end. And gotta say, it looks like some passion and love. And in some cases, I'm hearing it, you know, it only came because the person here was willing to go within and to kind of like leave the rest of the world stuff outside and focus on their own spiritual development and kind of just being like clean within themselves is what I'm hearing. And so, you know, in other cases, this is just like what's on your mind, and it's telling you to temper how you might be feeling and how you might be willing to act out. Because that shadow, resorting to violence in the name of a cause, might be a real kind of come to Jesus for you, especially if you're showing up with all this passion. Because I'm hearing for somebody, I'm hearing drunk dials, drowning sorrows, and 9 out of 12 steps is what I'm hearing. Wow. So maybe it's like somebody just also being tempted to like fall off the wagon. I'm hearing they were in a 10-step program and they got pretty far. And it might be time to go back and revisit that, because that's going to actually, you know, help you in dealing with how you love yourself. Let's see what the book says on that 9, though, because I can kind of get pulled off into the personal stories with these sometimes, and there's just so many coming at me right now. I'm going to try to keep them a little neutral. All right, so here's what the book says on the spiritual strength card. This card is coming forth to give encouragement and remind you that you have the inner strength to complete whatever you've been working on. This final spirit card represents courage, discipline, stability, and persistence. You may be tired or weary from the struggle, but it is not the time to give in. Instead, tap into all of your inner reserves for that one final push to achieve the desired outcome. You've been through so much to get to this point, and even though you may have acquired some scars from the battle, you're wiser and stronger for it. The enlightenment that you've gained will be an invaluable resource. You may also notice that you're experimenting with different things in your life at this time. All of these experiences feed your spirit and offer you knowledge for the future. So, yeah, in some cases, I'm hearing that's why y'all are ready to get up and go. So you're going to know which side of it you're on, but really pay attention to that, because I was hearing some of y'all's boats were really, really rocked. And that's sometimes what passion does. I mean, this looks really great, right? But let's be honest. How often does it look like that and actually not rock the boat in some way and make people freak out? Most of the time, you know, this is like the illusion. And I was getting a lot of messages about some Neptunian shit going on and being like way off in the la-la land for some people and needing to temper that. And so they're showing me the temperance card, and I don't see it anywhere here, but maybe it's just they're reminding me to remind you that it's a good time to figure out how to cope and balance these energies, because this and this is a lot of fire. These are wands, even if it doesn't look like it here, but it's also talking about like spiritual strength. So I think a lot of this is just kind of learning how to work with such big energy right now, Pisces, and just know it might be stirred up. They're saying focus on your heart chakra. So I'm going to read to you what passion says. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Your prayers for great love have been heard and answered. And it all begins with you. You have the power to revive passion in your life. In fact, no one can bring it to you but you. This card guides you to seek that which brings you great joy, such as a hobby, cause, or special activity. They were telling me art for some of y'all. I was seeing somebody with like magic markers, like doing coloring books. So, do what makes you happy. This might be a good way to express this energy, especially if you're feeling frustrated. Anything that stirs your heart with joy will help passion bubble forth and positively flow into your romantic life. The romance angels say that having a passion for life itself is a requisite foundation for feeling passion in your love life. This means enjoying this moment completely. And when you do so with a partner, you inspire him, her, or them to romantically participate with you. If you're presently single, you can definitely enjoy passion in your activities and hobbies. And who knows, such pursuits may provide an opportunity to meet a wonderful partner who shares these passions. Yeah, I was seeing that too. Like I was seeing somebody actually like getting involved or thinking about getting involved in like a spiritual group and going there because it's like, they're feeling all this stuff, even if they don't have somebody there, like the desire for eternal love and like passion and fire and like romance and great sex, that can be great sex, and being willing to like bridge the gaps between themselves, and kind of protect themselves with the world that they are so that they can have something safe. And I'm hearing, look, getting into your spiritual life might be a really good idea and a good way to direct this, because you might actually find somebody that's even worth dealing with. And so if you're single and you're looking for some hope on this, I'm hearing it's going within. I'm hearing it's like protecting yourself, learning what your assets are, and not like drowning your sorrows and like just like pouring it down the drain. Because I was just seeing somebody like dumping out stuff, and you might be dealing with some air tribe people. I was getting it with some of the air signs. I don't remember which ones, but it was literally somebody with like reckless behavior, working at a bar, doing stupid shit, getting in trouble, and then just like pouring out the drinks and being like, I'm done with this. And so, look, maybe you need to do some of that, and that's why that's showing up on your head. And I think it's good to know that about yourself, There's nothing to be ashamed about with that, Pisces. So allow your heart and soul to sing with joy, even if it's just finding things that kind of keep your spirits flowed and full and keep you feeling like you're moving that energy in a way that feels good and that is like in alignment with yourself, This person is in alignment with themselves, and it's making everything around them very sturdy. And sometimes that's what a Piscean needs to know. They need to feel like things are somewhat contained, because that shit can go everywhere, So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on that advice. And the tip about eternal love from Archangel Michael, and what I'm hearing is that begins with the self. And in some cases, if you're going to call in, if you haven't already, something that feels beautiful like that, somebody that's like taking custody of you and guardianship over you. And if that's what you want, that's like how you need to be treating yourself, is what I'm hearing, because that's how magnets work. There's like an attraction thing that happens with that. So I'm going to go ahead and seal it up on the prayer here, Pisces. Dear Archangel Michael, please help me perceive all of the love that surrounds me so that I can feel safe receiving, expressing, and giving love. Amen. All right, Pisces, what I got for you. Hope you liked it. Hope it made sense. Thumbs up, share with a friend if it did. Hit me up if you would like a personal prayer or private reading. Avenger just flew out and hit the floor. Said some of y'all really have like ants in your pants. And look, reach out for help if you need it. Don't fly to any conclusions. Sometimes, they're saying something about travel delays. Maybe that's what this is, and some of the frustration. Well, look, if that's the case, I'm just hearing don't feel too defeated about that. Sometimes things go slow during Mercury retrograde, and it's not quite there yet, but a lot of us are feeling it already, so take your time, especially if you're traveling. And they're reminding me that if you take medication, carry it in your carry-on. Don't, check it with the bags. I was seeing something for somebody about feeling really distressed about, dropping some pills out of a purse or a lost luggage or delayed luggage or something. All right, I can get too specific on this. Handle your business, Pisces. You're grown-ass adults. You know what you're doing. I'm praying for you. If you need more assistance, just reach out. Prayer@fatheroftribes.com. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clear this up a bit, and then we are going to jump into Scorpio. And I'm going to get something to drink. What's going on, Scorpio? How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. Hope it's going great. Had a lot of messages come up for y'all. You might want to check the channel stuff at the beginning here. A lot was coming up. Gonna flip your cards. All right, Pisces. Just gotta say it. I was seeing somebody spilling drinks. I've been seeing it. And this card was being shown to me, I think, with the air tribes. I was just seeing a mental image of it. And it's actually the card that showed up for y'all's archetype. So, Alchemist, really cool energy. It was being shown to me a little different than how it looks here on the card. But I'm going to read to you what the card says. Alchemist, light attributes, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Shadow attributes, misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. I'll just say the way they were showing me before with the other tribes, and you might want to check out the air tribes. You might have air tribe people or air in your chart, and maybe this will hit for you. I was seeing somebody just being like, fuck this drinking shit, and somebody that's been struggling with it, making really shit decisions for themselves, and constantly just being in negative drama because of it. And they were saying it's because of the job, and that it's the person was doing great, and I was seeing they're showing me the 9 out of 12 steps again, and just getting stopped somewhere, and it's because literally that's where they were trading time for dollars. They started working in a bar or something, making drinks, and then it was just negative, and I was seeing them literally fall down drunk behind the counter and getting out of there. So may or may not be you. It could be somebody you're dealing with, but I'm hearing again, that transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. It's somebody coming to that point of awareness, and it's been a really good time to do it. And if that's hitting for you, or if you came here looking for an answer about whether or not something was going to be okay, I'm just being led to jump ahead here for you. You're saying the situation is already resolved. So just keep that in mind. This can be a tricky energy here, I use these archetype cards to give you sort of your challenge style energy. This is what the challenge for the next couple weeks is this energy. And so this could play out as how you are tempted to act yourself. It could be how situations are unfolding. It could also be how others are acting around you. So keep it in mind, and let's see here. Whatever it is, though, I'm getting pretty good hit that some of y'all are, if you haven't already made a good decision, or you're waffling about it, because I'm seeing somebody literally look, kind of playing I Spy a little bit and deciding where am I going to swing this thing, and trying to make a decision is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this is some of y'all trying to turn a new page This is literally the Page of Swords showing up in the physical material realm. And I'm hearing in some cases this is you, even if you don't have swords or air element in your chart. Of course, you could be dealing with swordsy people. This could be your child. This could be a child in your life. This could be a lot of things. But I'm hearing for some of y'all, this is literally making a new start or wanting to make a new start after learning some shit that you have to transcend. And in some cases, it's about an addiction, I'm hearing. But, you know, this page is studious. This is somebody that wants to, like, you know, I'm not always convinced they're going to take a swing. Like, that's kind of like a wimpy-ass way to hold a sword. If this is like somebody that, you know, is coming at you, you know, they might not do it. But in other cases, this is somebody that's like, you know, I want to use this thing, you know, and they're kind of waiting to, like, figure out how they're going to do it. And I'm hearing in some cases just because they're making a major change. And it's because of the shit that they had to leave behind. And, you know, just remember, this is already resolved. They're saying you're making good decisions now. And, like, probably one of the best cards you can ever have show up for an indicator of success is what's showing up on your mind here. This 7 that says Triumph right here, this is your Chariot card if you are referencing a more traditional system like the Rider-Waite-Smith. Okay, so I love this. I'm hearing too, it might have something to do with Cancerian people. You might have a Cancerian person on your mind, you know, or that you're dealing with, because a lot of times that's what this can be too. It's the 7, the Chariot card. I actually sometimes see it even show up as Gemini, but those two are really close on the wheel anyway, but, you know, they're just telling me to mention that there because these might be characters too that might be in your life picture in some kind of way, and I'm hearing that, you know, it could definitely have something to do with whether or not it's romantic. I'm just going to jump into the personal / romance sector. Because it doesn't always look like this. So let me just say that before we get so sidetracked on how awesome that looks. I mean, that looks pretty freaking awesome, right? Soulmate. Doesn't always look like that. I'd like to see shadow pictures of some of these, like a shadow deck of like romance angels, like romance angels gone wild or something, because like that would be interesting, right? Just to see what's on the other side of this. It doesn't always look like this. In some cases, it's like some weird shit that happened with a soulmate that had somebody drinking in the first place or had them like doing whatever this shit is. Misuse of like power, knowledge, and spiritual practice. And I'm hearing in some cases it got gross for somebody, and that is actually like why they're taking a new direction, you know? This person is a beginner here. The page is like a fresh new energy, and just because it's new, it's not saying, you know, it has to be like a young person. You could be like whatever age and still taking a new direction. It's just saying that there's like more to be done, you know? And so I'm hearing though, whether it was shadow character or, you know, it could even be good shit. You know, maybe somebody finally is feeling like that kind of magic in their life, and that's making them want to start over and be an alchemist. So I'm hearing in some cases it's because you actually found something real wonderful. You know, there might be a soulmate relationship that's in your world that's good, and in other cases I'm hearing it's like literally like cutting away from it though, you know, because that's what this could also be. This page here could also kind of be reckless, and I'm hearing in some cases that's what this was. This is like, you know, some of y'all, you're going to know if this is you. There's so many different ways that a Scorpio can be and how your life can go. But in some cases, it's like just realizing here the second half of the month that, you know, some things had to change for you to transform and take a new direction. I'm hearing in some cases this is just like, it's like, you know what, it was a fast thing. I'm done. And it was a good decision, and it's going to be like a positive direction of triumph. And, you know, it's something that had to be done because it's kind of like how you're rescuing yourself. And I'm hearing in some cases it's literally cutting off like a shadow character soulmate. And so, you know, not always what people want to hear around the holidays, but in some cases, especially with like a Mercury retrograde coming by, you know, it might just be a time to kind of review how things are feeling. And I'm hearing in some cases it's literally leaving one relationship, you know, that might have been like the drowning of sorrows, where somebody was just like feeling stifled in it, and making a decision to, depart from that because they found something that was a better match, is what the guides have said to me. And that's what the 7 is all about. And I'm hearing that sometimes you might need to be able to let yourself off the hook. They're telling me this is really important for somebody to hear right now. That 7 doesn't come super easy, okay? That's like a really freaking awesome number. You stick into that. If it's like pinging you here, a lot of times when I see these, it has something to do with things that were orchestrated by the universe to happen at a specific time when we are ready. When we are ready. And so that's where this triumph is coming in here. And I'm hearing in some cases, it was stirred up because of some soulmate situation, and that, especially if it's turbulent and you're deciding what to do in this path, you're literally showing it like you've been waiting for this person. It was like waiting for a rescue. And that young person could actually even be whoever this is. So if this is somebody external to you, if this is not you, this could be somebody that's, a young person. It could have something to do with somebody's kid or a child. But that might remind you of somebody there. And it's very possible that person has air in their constitution. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Carolyn Mace archetype deck book. We're going to read on this alchemist and get some more clues on that for you, Scorpio. They have given us several other keywords, and I've got, 5 bullet points and a tip to keep in mind for you. Alchemist, wizard, magician, scientist, inventor, and also see visionary, which is another archetype in this book. First bullet point says, in its highest manifestation, seeks complete spiritual transformation. Second one says, all these archetypes share the trait of converting matter into some form of altered and enhanced expression. Wizard and magician produce results outside of the ordinary rules of life, using supernatural powers and entertainment, respectively. The shadow alchemist appears in the misuse of power and knowledge through seduction and trickery. And the shadow wizard manifests either as use of ingenuity for criminal or unethical purposes, or as feelings of superiority. And the tip to keep in mind is that it must be associated with your physical life in some significant way, showing invention on a regular basis. In some cases, that's what I was hearing too, that it's just like kind of seeing the situation a little different, and realizing that there might have been like a real shadow character there, and like wanting to just like take a swing and just like cut it clean and take a new direction. And I'm hearing in some cases you need to know that you can. And that, if you do, and you're doing it in your heart space, and you're doing it because you're transforming, your life into something that's golden and that's like in your heart center, and just feeling like it's balanced in your world, versus whatever that shit was with, somebody abusing their power on you, that there is going to be a success here. And you need to know that. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's time for a brave new direction. So let's see what the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book says on that Triumph card. That's a trump card. That's major arcana if you're like referencing this deck here. So, there's a lot of energy there. That's like something that changes how you do life versus, some of the other cards. Like some of these minor ones are just perhaps moods or things that, we're doing or that we have under our control. But stuff like Triumph, that's kind of like gravity, Gravity kind of creates situations for us to have to conform to. And that's a good sort of, thing to know when you're thinking about how this energy is showing up. It's saying that, you're positioned for a triumph. So, that might help you get into your alignment and feel good about it. Because they're saying it's already resolved. So, try to relax if you need that. Triumph. The power of your soul is pushing and nudging you steadily forward. Whether you're setting new goals, developing ideas, or planning a journey, it's essential that it's carefully thought out. When you tap into your inner guidance and balance it with self-control, hard work, and perseverance, it's likely to manifest as a triumphant outcome. It's time for you to be single-minded and focus on the end goal. Visualize the successful results as if it were happening right now. When you've achieved what you set out to do, your ability to meet other life challenges will be significantly increased. And when you try to move forward without balance, direction, or guidance, it's easy to slip off your intended path and be drawn away from your desired goal. Now is not the time to let go or allow the river of life to pull you in its current, as you can so easily lose control. Grab your oars, grip them tightly, and steer carefully toward your highest aim or destination. The Triumph card reminds you that you don't have to be alone with all life's ups and downs and the challenges that face you. This is a time to tap into the powerful knowledge of others as well as to use the inner resources that are within you. Traditional tarot archetype, the Chariot. And again, they're saying Cancerian. You might have Cancer in your chart if you don't have Cancerian people. But look, for some of y'all, it is absolutely about some soulmate stuff. I'm hearing in some cases it's been some absolute drama, and that's like this person is literally like leaving that because they thought it was that, and it's like, no, wasn't that. And where they're going is like starting over. This beginner here. Oh, look, same hair, right? Blowing in the wind, right? So this person making a new direction. So you're going to know if it's for you or not. I'm just going to read to you what the soulmate card says in the book. It says, yes, this is your soulmate. It can just be friends. It can be frenemies. It can be work relationships. It can be family members. It doesn't have to be love or that kind of love. Let's see what it says. Soulmate. You chose this card because you wonder if a certain person is your soulmate, and the answer is yes. As we all do, you have many soulmates, beings with whom you share a mystical soul connection and life path. Soulmates incarnate with the plan of coming together for mutual spiritual and personal growth. As you suspected, the person you're inquiring about is one of yours. That sense of familiarity and control you felt when you first met also indicates your soulmate bond. This card sometimes comes to those who ask, when will I meet my soulmate, or will I ever meet my soulmate, as validation that this will occur. Many times, this is a person whom you already know. Although romantic sparks didn't fly at first, you'll have another opportunity to explore passion together. I'm hearing something I need to know because that's actually important. And they're saying that in some cases it's like, this is you, like, kind of waiting on guard because you're, like, waiting for, like, that ex to show up because you know about Mercury retrograde and you're like, I'll cut a bitch. I'll cut a bitch. I see some Scorpio, like, getting ready to, like, swing and just being like, no, you're not going to get in my life path, and I already learned, and keep your damn drinks. So you're going to know if it's for you or not, but I'm hearing for some of y'all, don't have drinks with that person because you already know what it leads to, and it's like, been there, done that. Situation's already resolved. I'm going to wrap it up on that practical advice in a tip and a prayer from Archangel Michael for you, Scorpio. Here we go. Dear Archangel Michael, I give any worries, cares, and concerns to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. I thank you for resolving this situation in a divine and perfect way. Amen. All right, Scorpio, that's what I got for you. Hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, share with a friend, subscribe. Hit a brother up if you would like a personal prayer or private reading. I'm running specials on all of my readings that are placed between now and the 20th of this month. So just hit me up at prayerfatheroftribes.com. Information is linked below if you'd like some more information on that. If I don't hear from you, have a happy whatever you're celebrating, and I'll see you again soon. All right, I'm going to light something here because we are out of incense. And then we are going to wrap it all up on Cancer. What's up, Cancer? How you doing? Happy middle of the month to you. Flip your cards. Got a lot of channeled messages that I think had your name on them. You might want to go to the beginning of this video and see them. All right. I'm hearing the words flip-flop, 50-50. They were telling me all about 50-50 with you guys and decisions and being all over the map on this. And I'm hearing you listen to too many people, and it's got you all over the shop. So I'm just going to tell you, you might want to check those out. So here you might be dealing with an addict, whether it's you or someone else. And in some cases, you can be addicted to your own thought patterns and switching back and forth. So keep it in mind here, Cancer. There are a lot of cautions about this, especially with the retrograde going on for, basically the second half of the month. It's the 14th while I'm recording this right now, and these effects have been already off the hizzy for some of us. So keep it in mind, especially if, this is sounding like anything to you or looking familiar. But I'm hearing in some cases this is Cancer just pushing some shit away and being like, I am not going to go down that road, and you can't freaking make me. And I'm hearing that's some of y'all, just like pushing it away there. So I'm going to read you what it says here on the card. This is the Carolyn Mace archetype deck. It's going to be kind of like your challenge style energy for the second half of the month. In some cases, it's either how you're tempted to act or how other people are acting. And just keep in mind, too, there's no judgment in this. We've been getting a lot of messages about addictions and 12-step programs this second half of the month with all the tribes. And so I'm just being led to remind you that if this is a time where you need extra support, reach out for that, because there's a lot here. And you know what? You're not alone. A lot of people go through that this time of year, even if they don't have addictive personalities, because of just the way that people's emotions can be imposed upon during holiday seasons, okay? So here's what the card says for you. Light attributes. Helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Shadow attributes state compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. And I don't know why, but they made me pick these up. I've had them with me for this reading. I brought them and I wasn't sure what I was doing with them. These are my Shiva Lingam. These are two of them. They're kind of like my soulmate stones. Sometimes I carry them together. I'm calling in my love partner. And I'm a Cancer rising person, and I have definitely, now I understand why I'm pulling this up, and it actually kind of looks like your symbol a little bit, like the little Cancer, the little moons or whatever. But I'm being told that a lot of this might have to do with relationships. You got 2 2s that showed up. Your physical material realm, we've got the 2 of Wands that showed up, and then we have, again, 2, the waiting game that showed up right next to it on your mind. This is the same card in this deck, 2 2. And I'm hearing 11-11 in some cases. I'm hearing some of y'all are dealing with some weird soulmate shit, freaky deaky. I'm hearing some of it is twin flame or not twin flame, like karmic bullshit that's got somebody feeling like ring around the rosies, ring around the rosies. I heard ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Don't drop dead. Maybe get some Shiva Lingam, put them in your pockets, help you balance your masculine and feminine polarities, and also the stuff that's going on in your mind. And I'm hearing in some cases, look, I'm just going to jump ahead. Honor and trust your feelings. I was getting a lot of messages for you all to trust your inner and to shut off the bullshit, because in some cases you've got somebody here on this side, somebody on this side, and it's like just listening to all this shit, and it's totally dismantling you, making you feel like you're having to fight a force of nature that's coming at you to overtake you in some cases. And they're saying that you already know. You already know. You see that light? You see that right there? That's your light. That's your light, Cancer. You know inside of you what feels good. And it's okay for you to find balance by going to one side or the other to do things that are in alignment with you. Just pay attention to anybody that's coming at you to overtake you or consume you. And if you have that going on right now and you feel like you're being, battling that, look into things that you can do to support yourself. They had me pick these up right before this reading. I wasn't holding this with either the Scorpio or the Pisces. They were like, grab the Shiva Lingam, and I've got them here in my right hand. I usually don't have anything in my right hand while I'm reading these. I'll hold the selenite wand or something in my left, and they told me this. So Shiva Lingam, for those of you that might be interested, that's what these stones are. You might want to look up what they are. All right, so yeah, that addict card. I'm going to just go ahead and jump into the book here, tell you what it says. Did I read this to you already? It says, light attributes helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Shadow attributes compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So they're telling you have the power here, if that's even happening, because it says allow. So some of you just need to realize that you have more power than you're thinking, because you can actually turn some shit off. Even if you have to deal with people and like all that going on, there's a certain point where you can like kind of ground yourself and like shut off the noise and let them do what they're doing and not allow it to pull you off of what you know is actually true. I'm hearing some of y'all need to hear that. And I think that's why in your personal / romance sector, stay optimistic about your love life might have shown up. It could be for different reasons. We're going to break this down a little bit, though, and I'm going to get into this archetype book here first on the addict, because we'll get some more clues on what this is all about for you. Addict. Now, we have several keywords to keep in mind, and then we have 4 bullet points and a tip. Conspicuous consumer. Glutton, workaholic, also see gambler, which is another archetype in this deck. First bullet point says, not limited to drugs, alcohol, food, and sex. Second one says, helps you recognize when any external force has more authority over your willpower than your inner spirit does. The third one says, perseverance in breaking its hold empowers your psyche. Fourth one says, shadow addict represents the absence of self-control and internal balance and compromises your integrity and honesty. And the tip to keep in mind is to look for a lifelong pattern of trying to overcome the tendency to need a substance or person so intensely that you compromise relationships, finances, integrity, character, or emotional and psychological well-being. So it's a call for self-care. And it's just reminding me, heart chakra flew out before when I was like clearing the space to do y'all's readings, and I really think there might have been some messages in the channel section for you guys about addictive behaviors and shadow characters coming in to overtake you and like just draw you into different places. Sometimes not to like, I mean, I say it and it could sound like I'm saying like to hurt you, but I don't really think that any of it's doing that. And although it might be resurrecting old childhood wounds for a lot of us and hitting here in the heart space, it's not to like, put you through the meat grinder. Sometimes the stuff just happens to show you how much you've learned and developed and to remind you how intense it is and to give you a little bit of freaking self-worth. To realize that although you feel that, you're not subject to act out in ways that allow shit to just pull you under. Because I'm being told that undertow that's trying to grab you, it might really have the potential to do that. Especially if you're dealing with addicts, your own addictive personalities, or whatever it is. And that sometimes you just need to grab onto your faith, and it's kind of maybe what this person's doing here. So, physical material realm using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. We've got the 2 of Wands, which looks very different than this deck. And these are actually the same card energies showing up twice. So this is really strong. This is very dualistic in nature. I'm hearing some of y'all might have Gemini in your chart. And actually, Gemini and Cancer are side by side here on the wheel. And look, this supermoon that we're going to have the effects of the supermoon that happened like last night, the Gemini supermoon, all month. So even though the moon will change and it will be, somewhere else soon, the effects of the Gemini supermoon are upon us. And there's a lot of duality involved in that. And Cancer, does have a lot to do with duality for me too, You might want to look more into that if you're not aware of how you're made. But, there's definitely some dualistic stuff going on here. See, this person has picked a path, though. Even if they're not feeling so great about, how everything is happening, they might have something very real and emotional happening right now that they're having to turn their back on, you see, to grab for what is solid. And there's no shame in doing that. I'm just being told, grab for the one that's solid, Cancer. Grab for the one that feels good. Grab for the one that's in the light of your day, None of that shadow character shit. And that can be tricky, Sometimes you don't understand, your motivations. And if you got Cancer in your chart, you're a moony person. You might not know what that means, but emotions are ruled by the moon. So even if that's not your moon sign, it's a moony-ass sign. And it is emotionally involved with things and with life. So you might want to look into that. I'm going to make one plug here for my Future Forward reading that I do. They usually end up being about 2 hours because it's like a whole year that I look at. And we break apart your moon nodes so you understand your light and shadow potential for acting out on your emotions, because for some people it's very elusive right now, and that's why they're playing Ring Around the Rosies for me. I'm hearing Ring Around the Rosies, and I'm seeing this person kind of wanting to walk away from the bullshit, but they're going around in circles. See all this energy? It's while they're passing the time. And that can feel like some bullshit. Are you addicted to that pattern? It could all be coming up right now. I'm hearing that some of y'all might be triggered, and that the best thing to do is just to turn off some of that noise and to stay optimistic. And if it's hard for you to stay optimistic, well, you know what? You might just need a little bit more support right now, and there's no shame in that. So I'm just going to tell you that there's no shame here. There's no shame. The only thing that would ever be a shame is just seeing somebody getting really discouraged about their life and switching back and forth TikTok, and not getting the support they need, especially if they really do have the answers inside of themselves. And in some cases, all they need to do is find something steady to lean on, because that might actually get them through it, right? So just know this might be a highly triggering time. It'd be helpful to look into what a Mercury retrograde is all about, especially if you have things coming back and swirling around you that have you questioning your path, because a lot of times that's what this is. It's passing time trying to make a decision. Tick-tock is what I'm hearing. In other cases, this has a lot to do with fire element people, even if you don't have fire in your chart, because this showed up twice, and that is fire element. 2 of Wands, 2 waiting games, all fire. So it could be people, whether or not you realize it, that have strong fire in their constitution somewhere, sun, moon, rising, perhaps, in, Aries, Leo, Sag. And in other cases, I'm hearing it's deferring a decision is what I'm hearing. I'm going to go ahead and open up what the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck book says about the waiting game card here. Because in some cases, if it is deferring a decision, it might not be a bad idea. And I'll just put that out there, especially if it's something new, Mercury retrograde can be a little tricky sometimes about doing things. It's a good time to analyze things and question motives with yourself, plan ahead for things that you want to do, and to see how things show up when missed opportunities or news or people, especially if you haven't heard from them in a while, want to come back into the orbit. And in some cases, that's maybe what this is. I was getting some messages about people kind of standing there waiting, trying to keep a grip on their life, and just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop is what I'm hearing. And so I'm just being told to remind you again, please stay optimistic, even if this has nothing to do with love, and honor and trust those feelings. But we're going to open up this book here and see what that 2 of Wands, a.k.a. 2 the waiting game, says in this system. Wow. Okay. This card indicates that you've worked hard to set things in motion in certain areas of your life, and you're now waiting for the results to come to fruition. The number 2 is all about choice and decision. In the past, you may have been afraid of making decisions or choices, but now you're no longer held prisoner by the fear or the constraints of old beliefs. Expect the best to be open to the limitless power of your intuition, which is presently very strong. Trust and use it to assist you. Achievement and success are assured, but once obtained, don't let it change you. Remember who you are, the effort that it took to get you to this point, and the gratitude you need to show the people who helped you. Stay on your spiritual path, for it will continue to guide you on the journey of your soul. Okay, and I was hearing something here about somebody needing to get their meds checked. That's what they were saying. All right, so this is going to be very specific, and I kind of am reluctant sometimes to make messages like this, but I'm getting like a really strong prod on this, that this is being exacerbated for somebody, because I'm hearing something about they're just saying something about like somebody's doctor kind of like being a little bit of a sick fuck is the words I'm hearing. So I'm just going to say it, sick fuck doctor that is, has compromised integrity, working with addicts, and that you might need to have your chemistry just reevaluated. Stay optimistic, because I'm hearing that in some cases, they're saying sick fuck to me. I'm hearing some of y'all, somebody has a fucking twisted ass doctor that is kind of like making it worse for you. And they're saying that you should stay optimistic about yourself and honor your feelings. And you're going to know. If you had a question, is my doctor a sick fuck? I'm being told this is for you, that you know that, and that this might be about you deciding to see somebody else and get like new drugs. I'm seeing like a pill here, and they're telling me it might just be like a chemistry thing. And I'm seeing like somebody like all withered up here inside, like, and it like turning to like spring for them. And they're telling me that you might need to just like get a second opinion is what I'm hearing. And so I'm sorry if I offended anybody by telling you your doctor's a sick fuck, but you're going to know if it's true. And so one way or the other, I'm just hearing, make good decisions. Turn off some of the noise and see how it's feeling when other people come at you, because sometimes they're going to come at you with a certain kind of hand, like trying to take something that's not theirs. And that might be, you know, what this was all about. You know, it's just like addiction, like something like coming to grab this person and then pushing it away and just being like, no, I'm going for this other thing. And so, you know, just pay attention to it if that's for you. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Romance Angels Oracle deck book on the Stay Optimistic About Your Love Life. It says positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Some cases, look, you might already have that. In other cases, you know, and I have to say it, you know, there's only one person here. And it looks like they're making an offer. Right? To something. And I'm hearing in some cases, you know, this is just how you need to be treating yourself, is to come at yourself openly, offering support, because a lot of times that's what an addict needs, or, you know, maybe that's how somebody's coming at you. And, you know, you're going to know if they're coming at you all crazy like this, or if somebody's coming at you like, all like genteel, but, you know, that's like two totally different ways to come at somebody, right? See, this person's like seeking healing or is like maybe pushing away the healing. And here, somebody's like offering it lovingly, you know? So I'm just going to read you what it says here in the book. All right. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. The romance angels send you this card to remind you that you have a strong influence upon your love life, satisfaction. You've been complaining or worrying lately, the angels guide you to shift to a more optimistic perspective. Even if you've had your romantic hopes repeatedly dashed, there's still reason to hold that faith that real love can be yours, if you believe it. Today, take action steps to positively manifest the love life you desire. Whether you're single or in a partnership, begin by visualizing yourself as romantically happy and satisfied. See and imagine yourself with a wonderful partner who embodies the qualities that are important to you. Imagine that person appreciating and loving you too. You can write lists and conduct journaling sessions about your feelings, hopes, desires, and intentions. You can also create a dream board with images and phrases related to your love life goals pasted onto a poster board. Daily, look at this dream board with positive intent and follow any inner guidance to take actions related to your dreams. A positive outlook will make you a more physically and energetically attractive person, which will definitely help your relationship with yourself and everyone else too. Yeah, when we're showing me some stuff about y'all, just like I say, y'all, all like water tribes, just getting involved with art and doing things that are artistic this month or the second half of the month to help you, especially if you feel like you just want maybe you feel like you're waiting something out, or you're trying to like pass the time and you're looking for something to do besides drinking is what I'm hearing. It's like that might be something really creative is to pick up some markers, pick up some oil pastels, get some colored pencils, invest in yourself, buy some Prismacolors, get something nice, get yourself a coloring book or a sketchbook, and just let yourself express that, because they're saying that a lot of this is just learning how to be constructive with that energy, Cancer. So you're gonna know because and that's what I'm hearing. So honor and trust your feelings. I'm going to leave it on that practical advice from Archangel Michael and seal it up with a prayer for you, Cancer. Here we go. Dear Archangel Michael, thank you for supporting, guiding, and protecting me as I listen to and act upon my feelings. Help me understand and express my emotions with love. Amen. All right. That's what I got for you, Cancer. I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense. So thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe. And let me know if you want a reading or a personal prayer. I'm running specials that really kick ass on all my readings right now that are ordered between now and the 20th of December. Just hit me up at prayer@fatheroftribes.com. The email address is also linked below in the description box if you need that. And if I don't hear from you, have a very happy holiday season, and I'll be seeing you again very soon. God bless.